Top of the morning. I know St. Patty's Day was yesterday. Shout out to all the Irish and all the people that aren't, and everyone who just celebrated it. Shout out to them. Okay? Anytime I think about St. Patrick's Day, I just think about The Departed, the movie, and just the song. I'm shipping off to Boston, yeah. I don't want to sing too much because I feel like if I keep going, sure enough, YouTube will probably hit me with a copyright strike. You believe that? All right. So you saw the title. I'm gonna make some dough with y'all live, okay? Because this is how much I F with y'all, family. This is how much I F with y'all. I love to do this, okay? Look at the starter. This starter, if you read the description, I'm talking about how time sometimes is not your friend. I took this out maybe less than an hour ago from the fridge. And my starter, I don't know if you can see, my starter has fallen, okay? It was nice and tall. And now, if you could look in there, it's kind of a little bit of a crater, like, and it just dropped down a little bit. I'm still gonna make bread. I'm still gonna mix the dough with the starter right now, even though it's not at its peak. I don't want to put more flour and feed it and have to wait a couple more hours to do that. And also, I want this to be like a little teachable lesson for some people that might get stuck when it comes to making sourdough bread. All right, this starter is still active. I pulled it out from the fridge, but I've been feeding it constantly. But it has fallen slightly because I was preparing the lesson. Preparing the lesson for today at 12. All right, I'm gonna give y'all a little sneak peek of the title. It's good. It's good. You ready? Healed warriors win the workplace. Oh yeah. Ooh, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. All right. I know from myself, I was once a surviving soldier, and that has a time and place. It really, really does. But at a certain point, you got to make that transition to the healed warrior because that's the person that's going to win in the workplace. That's the leader. That's the person that advances. Okay? Take a little peek because I'm on the phone again. See if anybody's up in here. Don't see nobody right now. All right. So let's mix some dough. All right. If you don't have a scale, if you don't have a scale and you want to bake, get a scale. Get a scale, my friend. Okay. You need one. You definitely need a scale. All right. Turn it on. Tear it out. All right. Now I have room temperature filter water right here. Okay. And if you don't want to let it sit out, what I'll do is I have a machine. I have a water brick machine, filter water machine, and I'll just take hot water in the beginning and then I'll put it in some regular cool water. All right, I'm gonna go with 300 and no more than 350 grams of water. Sometimes it depends on how much I put in this bottle. 348. We could do 350. Sometimes it changes. And this is also something about baking. You have to get to a certain point of you know the technique so well that no matter what that is, no matter what weather conditions, if it's humid, if it's cold, you could adjust because I promise you, you're gonna have to adjust when it comes to dough. All right. So I did 350 grams of water. I'm about to tear that out. Okay. Like I said, the starter's falling, but she's still active. Look, you see? And you'll see that. Okay. She's still active. But is she at her full peak? I don't know. Look, see? See all of that in that webbing in there? She's kind of, to me, my starter's saying she kind of hungry. She's kind of hungry and she kind of spent out a lot of her energy. That's what I'm getting from that. All right. So I like to put in at least 112 grams of active bubbly starter. Sometimes, see, that was a little bit more than I would have liked. Sometimes, and I don't want to. This is the problem. If you put too much starter in, trying to get it out is a mother lover. That's fine. You gotta be careful because sometimes you get a little too much starter. And so right now I have 134 grams. Don't put 134 grams of starter in yours, okay? Do what I said and put about 112 grams of fresh, active, bubbly starter. And this is what I like to do. After I put my starter in here, I like to scrape down my jar and get everything together. You want to try to clean it up as much as you can. I know I've seen people, they take their starter out all the time. They put it into a new jar and clean this and do, yeah, sure, yeah. But the homies that started and created this stuff, was they cleaning their jars? Everything developed flavor. Obviously, if you have mold, you forget clean the jar. Get rid of the jar. If your starter has mold, it has pink coloring, you see fuzzy stuff, that gotta go. All right, there's no saving that bad boy. You gotta let her go. Sorry, this usually takes me a little bit of time because I like to really get everything off. For the sake of time, I'll move on. But really scrape your starter and put it back. Anybody up in here? Peace upon you. Okay, what's up? Shout out to you. Peace on to you. All right, fantastic. Yes, you clean your jar too, John? You got to. All right. So I'm just going to give this a little whisk. I have a dough whisk, but there is starter on here. So instead of just getting rid of it, I like to just do that first whisk. All right. To get it out. And then I'll come in with the big boy right here. All right. I'm going to start. Now, a lot of people, this is the thing about baking. Once you know the technique, you can switch it up. You just have to know what you're doing, and then you can play with it, okay? Some people like to do autolyse, and autolyse is you take your flour. I got bread flour right here. You take your flour and your water. You mix that first. You let it sit so it hydrates your flour, all right? You can do that 100% if you have the time to do that. Not everybody has the time. I definitely don't have the time. I'm going live to teach y'all at 12. So I need to make sure I'm prepared for that. Okay? So we have our starter in here and we have our water. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the flour. I'm going to put 500 grams of unbleached bread flour. I use King Arthur. You can use whatever you got. You can use whatever you got. I don't want people to think that you got to do everything that I'm doing down to a T. King Arthur is, tried and tested, so you know that you're going to get what you need. But that's not to say that some big dog brand might come and knock them off their high horse. I don't know, right? So I'm going to go 500 grams of bread flour. And bread flour, when you're making bread, you want to use bread flour. I know people out there talk about AP flour, some of these influencer bakers and stuff. You're making bread, family, use bread flour. Okay, that's what it's for. Now, if you want to add some other, one second. You want to add other things like rye, whole wheat, to add flavor, to add a little bit of texture, by all means, spice it up. This is your bread. This is your bread, people. Spice that up. Problem with flour, you see this? It gets everywhere. Flour gets everywhere in the kitchen. So when you're done baking, make sure you clean, people. Make sure you clean, all right? So I have 500 grams of bread flour in here. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some salt. I like to add 12 grams of salt. You can do anything from 10 to 12. If you want to do less, I don't suggest you do less than 10. I really don't. But preference, right? I'm gonna add it right on top. 8. Okay, cool. Right, now we're good. Now we have the dough right here. Let me turn off the scale. This is it right here. This mixture will get you sourdough every time. Every time. You may have to adjust a little bit less water, maybe a little bit more flour, a little bit more salt, a little bit less salt. You switch it up, right? And now if you want, in this stage, you can add a little bit of honey. I'm going to get some honey because I like to add just a little bit of honey in there, a little something extra. Don't tell nobody I do that. This is so cool. Okay, that's what's up. Appreciate that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get some honey. All right, y'all. Here we go, honey. I don't measure this. Again, I have like over 15 years of baking experience. I don't need to really do that. So I don't measure it. I know what's amount that I can put. So for you guys, I'm going to just say, if you want to add some honey, a little touch of sweetness, maybe do like, I don't know, 5 grams of honey if you want to. Okay? So, right, if you have a dough whisk, I suggest you get one, but you don't need it. Clean your hands, and you can go in there back in the day like they did and use your hands. All right? I'm just going to use the whisk right now because this beginning stage can get a little messy, people. It does. You see, look, some flour came. You want to make sure to keep everything in. So let me just slow it down a little. All right? Get everything going. And with sourdough, because it's naturally leavened with the yeast and your starter, this is going to take some time. You're not going to be able to get, right? See how it's starting to form a shaggy dough, right? Start mixing a little bit more. A little more. See that? The reason why I like the dough hook, and I'll be honest with you, I'm new to the dough hook. I know all about it, but I never used it. I would use a mixer or I would go with my hand. I just never used this. And I would be like, is it actually useful, the dough hook? Like, should I actually purchase this? And then I did. And then I realized, you know what? Actually, it is. Because you can take this, and this is what I'm doing. If you see, right? It's starting to get a little bit harder, right? What I do is I go in there. Look what I'm doing. You see that? I'm purposely cutting through the dough so I can mix the rest of the flour right now. Don't worry about, oh, I'm working the dough too hard. Nah, she need to be worked out. Right now, she need to be worked out. All right? And so, once you have the rough dough ball, scrape it. This is the one thing I tell you about bakers that's different from culinary chefs. Pastry chefs and culinary chefs differ in that a pastry chef, we don't waste. We do not waste. We don't play around. So we scrape down the bowl. All right? We get everything because baking is a science, right? Everything is measured. And so you need everything. Some recipes are a little bit more lenient than others. But for the most part, we don't play around. We like to make sure we get everything. Chefs, they don't be caring. They be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Throw that out. Who cares? You know? But they're then super militant. Super militant in the kitchen. Though all chefs are like that. You know, like the bear. That's kind of really out of 10, but I'll be honest with you. We do not play. Chefs, that's why if you want to learn how to cook, or if you want to get some discipline, take a cooking class. Go to culinary school. That will teach you discipline in a heartbeat. All right, so this is it. The dough is ready. You see that? Now what am I going to do? I have to cover the dough. After, when you get to this point, and your dough looks like this, look, see? Look at that. When you get to this point, you have to cover it and let it sit. I would say, if you can, let this dough sit for about an hour. Cover it with a towel, with plastic wrap. If you have a plastic cap, which I'll get in a second, you cover that, you let it sit for an hour, and then you're going to start doing your stretch and folds. That's where things can get a little wonky. In that if you don't do it properly and you don't develop that gluten you need, then you start getting flatbreads and all this extra stuff, which I was doing for a moment because I was a little rusty and I haven't been baking in a while. But it's just like riding a bike. Once you know it, it comes right back to you. If you love it. If you're not passionate, you'll forget. You won't care. But I love this. And I love teaching y'all. What y'all saying? What's going on here? So cool. Okay, cool. All right, let me get a cover for this. All right, here we go. Here's that plastic cap. You see that? All right, now I'm going to take this dough. And I'm going to let her sit right there. And in about 30 minutes to an hour, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the stretch and folds. I don't know if I'll be able to come back on live and do that. Because like I said, I'm going to be teaching at 12. Why healed warriors win the workplace. So I don't think I'll have time to do that today. But I'll record it for you guys. So those that are watching the live, be on the lookout. I will make a video of me doing stretch and folds of this dough. So let y'all know, you know, we build trust and you guys get to see the final outcome for spending time with me this morning. Hope everybody's day is good. Look, and get a dough scraper. Get a bowl scraper, okay? Why? Because not only can it help you when you're shaping your dough, not only can it help you grab the extras from your mixing bowl or whatever, it's a good cleaner, okay? Clean, people. Clean, okay? It's important, especially in the kitchen. You make sure right after you do one stage, you clean. Then you move on to the next, and you clean. You clean as you work. That's the best way to do it, okay? You don't really want to wait to the end. Okay. Listen, I appreciate y'all. It was really dope to talk to some of you and shout some of you out. Shout out, I'm gonna shout out Semre, shout out John, shout out Americ. And if I didn't pronounce that right, my apologies. But, you know, a sister is trying. Ooh, sorry, y'all. A sister is trying. All right. I gotta go. Have a great day at work. If you're going there, whatever you have to accomplish today, I hope you're able to accomplish at least one of the goals that you want to today. And if you don't have a goal for today, make one, family. It could be as simple as, I want to walk a mile. I want to smell the roses. Maybe I want to try a new restaurant, or I want to do this. That's a goal. Everyone thinks that setting goals has to be some tremendous feat where, oh, I got to be a billionaire. Why don't we just talk about maybe taking a walk? Maybe taking a class. Those are little goals. And little goals measure up to big actions. All right? I hope to see you at 12 o'clock. All my healed warriors. And if you don't even know if you're a healed warrior, then tune in as well. Because maybe you're still a surviving soldier. Ooh. I used to be a surviving soldier, for real. But healed warriors, I promise you, they win in the workplace, in life, in everything. Those are the real leaders. So if you think you're a leader, or you are one, or you want to become one, pop up. All right? Take care. Blessings. Hey, yeah, shout out to you. I was just about to hang out to close it. QSTR1. Shout out to you. Amen. Oh yeah, all praise to the Most High. I'm dropping dimes for y'all. I look young. This is what I look young because I have good genes. Thank you to my mama. But I've been through a lot of life. I'm very wise. And wisdom is applied knowledge. You can know all you want, but if you don't apply it, well, what is the point? Right? You have to have experiences. I got experiences. I don't want to say I have too many experiences, but I have the right experiences to give the right information to the right people. All right? Have a good day. Hope to see you at 12.